girl, my eyes, and girl, my mind. It never stops after it starts. 'Cause you're a girl, girlless girl of mine. The girl of mine. Hot, hot, hot. Hot, hot, hot. Hot, hot, hot. Girl of mine.
What time is it?
Girl
Girl
time.
time! But also maybe 5 a.m.
Oh god, yeah.
Why do they have to record early morning podcasts so early in the morning? It's 7 p.m. for us. I can't even make that joke. Anyway, welcome to From Rushers with Love. My name's Maggie.
I'm Haley.
I'm Ashton.
And we are talking about the Big Time Rush episode, Big Time Live. We are into season 2 now, episode 4. We're still in, October 2011?
Definitely October. This episode was directed by Mort Nathan and written by Mark Fellows and Keith Wagner.
Is Mark related
Is Mark
to Scott?
related to...
Brothers, actually.
That's so funny. It's just like, get your brother to write an episode of Big Time Rush.
Yeah.
I would do that if I were
Yeah.
Scott Fellows.
I mean,
I'd let my brother write one.
He did a good job.
Yeah, this one's fun.
Yeah.
This one's so streamlined and cohesive. It has 2 settings.
I know, it's only like A plot and B plot, and then like a small C plot that's wrapped into A plot. Good stuff.
Yeah.
The premise of this one is that they're on a morning show very early in the morning. So, which I think is another fun premise. Kind of harkening back to Welcome Back Big Time when we saw them performing at like county fairs and malls, and now they're doing morning shows, which is something they've been doing for a while. I don't know if all bands do that. I've always have been aware of Big Time Rush showing up. Like they did one last week for their album release.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know who else does morning shows. Niall Horan. Or either Niall Horan or Ed Sheeran was going to be on Good Morning America after them, like the next week or whatever.
Wild.
So, yeah.
So they get to the studio, and Kendall says, why do they have to shoot early morning shows so early in the morning? Which will be important later.
It's fine.
Right. What?
Oh, I know why it'll be important, and I don't want you to say it, but it's fine.
Yeah, there's a whole gag where Mrs. Knight is asleep because she didn't get her full 8 hours yet, so she's like sleeping on the green room couch, and they can't wake her up because it's vague, but bad things would happen.
She'll become violent, they imply.
Yeah.
She does make bear noises.
Which is fun.
Yeah.
And then Katie, meanwhile, is playing a video game on her Nintendo DS, ? What a time.
Yes.
So that's kind of like the C plot that's like mixed into the boys' shenanigans on set.
Yeah, I don't think Castle Bashers specifically ever comes up again, but Katie and her DS are inseparable, and it's, I get it.
Yeah, her
I think
red
Castle Bashers must
DS
be based
light.
on... There's a DS game from 2008 called Castle Crashers, so I have to assume it's like a gag on that, but I've never played it.
Is there a she-beast?
Cannot confirm.
They're he beast. So they're gonna be on after this guy Miles Bainbridge.
He's very fun. I've always enjoyed his performance.
He's sort of like he's got like a benevolent griffin sort of energy.
You may have recognized him.
Absolutely.
The actor is Robert Curtis Brown, and Robert Curtis Brown played Vance Evans in High School Musical. 2. Sorry.
Oh.
He was also in 2 episodes of Barry, which Ashton and I just watched like last week, and I don't remember him being there. So that's rough.
Is he there yet?
Yeah, he was on episodes 3 and 4 of season 1. He was a guy named Mike Hallman. I do not remember who that guy is.
What were we doing? I was drunk.
There's so many guys in that show.
He was also in one episode of Fact or Fiction, which I think is fun.
Ooh. Oh, he was also on one episode of Star Trek Voyager and one episode of Deep Space Nine, so maybe that's where he got the Jonathan Frakes connection for
Nice.
Fact or Fiction.
Love that.
He's also a priest in one episode of Supernatural, which
Of
is
course.
fun, I guess.
I feel
Why
like
not?
it's hard to find people who weren't in Supernatural at this point.
Yeah, Supernatural is
Honestly.
like jury duty.
So that made me happy.
They get to the green room and there's like breakfast food everywhere, and they all just descend upon this table.
Again, relatable.
Kendall he just picks up a like entire pitcher of orange juice, and I said "me" out loud to an empty room. It's
The one
foreshadowing.
that kills me is that James is just holding what looks like a jar of frosted mini wheats. It's like a glass jar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't paying super close attention, and my head said, "Oh, that's a jar of wine corks," and I did not question it until this moment. But yeah, that makes way more sense, actually.
Still a wild thing to put in a glass jar,
Oh,
but
yeah.
but Ed Begley Jr. is here again. I forgot he was in this one.
So if we have any Ed Begley Jr. fun facts from last time, they did all get cut. So if you want to throw it out.
I don't
Okay,
remember
well-
any of that.
I know he was an actor, environmentalist guy,
Yes,
and
that's
I think
truth
he
and
had
fiction.
a carbon footprint competition with Bill Nye at one point. That's
Yes.
all I remember. But he just like shows up and stuff as himself, and he seems fun.
Yes, he also doesn't have Big Time Rush on his IMDb page, which I respect.
Even though he's been in it at least 2 times. I can't remember if there's a third. I feel like he must come back.
One thing that he played a character in and not himself was Better Call Saul, which I know because Peter was watching this episode with me and he goes, "Who's that guy? That guy looks familiar."
He's here in this show to promote his new line of environmentally friendly.
Various objects.
Yes.
A
The
lot
producer-
of different things.
The producer won't let him say. She's like, "Keep it fresh for the show, Ed." And then he looks so sad that he can't tell them about his stuff.
Also, his logo and brand name, it's Begley's Own is the brand name, and the logo kind of looks like the Newman's Own like salad dressing.
Oh.
Should we
Oh,
say
and-
other things that he was actually in?
I don't think it matters.
I feel like
I
we
mean,
should-
I think if people, he's like he's a significant like celebrity to a point, right? Like I think people should probably have heard of him. I don't know.
Make sure you check out Ed Begley Jr.'s IMDb page for all of his non-Big Time Rush credits.
Yeah,
We've
he's
done our
been in
due
a lot of
diligence.
things. Sorry, I just feel bad saying Better Call Saul and not like Batman.
There's a bunch of photos on the wall in the green room, which I was like, oh, that could be like a fun Easter egg. Who are they? But it's just like the hosts of like the news show, so like Miles Bainbridge and I forgot everyone else's name.
Chef
Chef
Hollandaise.
Hollandaise. I remember him. Yes.
I originally wrote down Chef Bouillon, and that was wrong.
Close enough.
I like Hollandaise better.
But this is unfortunately where they're informed that the show is running long, so Big Time Rush is cut and they get kicked out. Which causes Logan to like spit out an entire bagel, and James like turns into a block of ice, I guess.
Because being on a morning show is on his list of things to do before he dies.
Before he's 20.
Before he's 20, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
How old was the actor at this point? Was he 20
Right.
yet?
He was either
Probably.
19. He was 20 when it aired. He might have been 19 still during filming. I couldn't find out when that
Okay.
was.
Yeah.
But he has a list of things to do before he's 20, and being on live TV is number 7. And then for some reason, Logan's like, "You don't have a list." That's not how he says it, but he doubts the existence of the list. So James busts out a physical copy, and then Logan dramatically rolls his eyes.
They're having this conversation in the hallway right outside the green room, and I was like, oh, there's some more photos on the wall here. Maybe those are more interesting. It's exactly the same exact photos from the green room, so I guess they
Good.
just kind of moved those over.
That's fun.
So the producer's like, get out of here, you're cut. And Carlos is like, but you just said you were so excited to have us. And his voice cracks on the word have,
Aww.
which is very sad and cute. And then the producer's like, I'm a producer. I lie. She has a name, but I don't remember what it was. I just keep calling her the
I think
producer
it was Jane Kennedy.
in my notes.
At one point, she says something about not wanting, like, they don't need a stupid band or something, and then Logan says, a vocal group is a term that could also be used, but at first I thought he said focal group, like focus group, but wrong. So I was like, oh, is he suggesting they could just, like, pretend they're a focus group for something so they could be on the news? And I was really entertained by that before I realized that's not what he said.
No, he's just being annoying.
Missed opportunities. He did not get up at 5 a.m. to be treated like this.
Absolutely not. Got two really
so
good voice cracks in here. Gustavo and Kelly are supposed to be there, but they're late. They're at Rock Records and they're so late.
And Gustavo's a really important question to ask all of us.
He says, why do they have to shoot early morning shows so early in the morning? I'm Kendall Rock.
It's so
I
so
know.
disrespectful and rude to Mama Knight. Because again, the Gustavo we see in the show is a Gustavo who has gone through some huge character growth and development.
I guess.
I mean, it could be some, like, metaphysical thing. That's all I have to say on the subject. I'll come back to this later. Maybe not.
We will. I don't want to, but I can't stop you.
Griffin's here.
Griffin's here.
Gustavo's
Griffin.
having another Griffin mare.
It's like a nightmare about Griffin.
And Griffin responds with, I'm no dream. Which is true.
I'm no dream, Gustavo.
Is this where Gustavo reaches up and, like, smushes around his face?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun.
But I just... Griffin had some real good lines in this one, I will say. Just with, devoid of context.
But he's there for their corporate evaluation, and they passed the first test, which is that employees should be at work by 5 a.m. So.
Which I doubt happens any other day.
No, they're in the music industry.
Yeah.
Griffin says that he runs a $90 billion company.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It's kind of scary. It's
they
fine.
have a
they do a lot of
power
things.
lab. He says.
Yeah. And a fish stick division.
My headcanon is that those are directly related.
Well, they also have a nuclear missile. They sell nuclear missiles. We know that.
I'm really skeptical that EBJ would align or, like, affiliate himself with them if these are their antics.
I mean, how many celebrities do audiobooks for Audible or
That's
Amazon,
true.
right?
Yeah.
Like, there is no ethical consumption under capitalism or whatever.
Yeah, Griffin was like, so if Big Time Rush doesn't do well, then, like, you're being shut down. So is Big Time Rush, like, their only project? Like, is anything else happening at Rock Records?
I don't think
apart
so,
from
because...
them, like, occasionally renting out recording space, like, for Death Smash?
Yeah, I think that Big Time Rush is the only thing that is keeping them going.
Oh,
Dear
it's so
Lord.
sad.
Griffin should shut it down at that point. It's an entire, like, record company, right? It's an entire record. Like, it's fine. It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
So, Kelly has, like, a big binder of information that Griffin needs. She hands it to him. He hands it to Abdul, and Abdul puts it in a garbage can. Because it's not relevant.
Because
I guess.
they have to do Griffin's, like, super special testing, which he admits that he makes up along the way.
Yeah, it's just a power trip.
Yeah.
Like a literal nightmare working condition.
It's awful.
He is no dream.
So true.
Kelly like takes out her phone to call the boys to say they'll be late, and Griffin takes her phone and asks her to give him a haircut. Like, that's what we're doing here. That's the kind of...
At any point in this episode, do the boys ever, like, wonder out loud where
No, they don't
Griffin,
question it.
Or not Griffin.
Where Gustavo is.
Gustavo and Kelly.
Yeah, no, they don't
Yeah,
even think
it just
about
does
them.
not occur to them. They're a little distracted, I guess.
Yeah,
They get a lot going on.
They got up really
Honestly,
early.
they probably appreciate that they can just do whatever they want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Alright, so
Anyway.
Logan does a bunch of math off screen, and he comes up with a way to shorten all of the other segments so they can have 4 free minutes to play Till I Forget About You, which is only 3:57, but I guess
They
have
need
to
an introduction.
introduce it. So he gives it to her, and she's like, "This is good. This works. I think I owe you guys an apology." And then there's an instrumental of Till I Forget About You scoring this triumphant moment because it's a sad song and it's not actually a triumphant moment. She she pulls a bait and switch, and she takes them to a special waiting room, which is just an exit door to an alley with tumbleweeds in it.
They eagerly run
the
through.
tumbleweed gag gets me every time.
Yeah.
They eagerly run through the door, just like they eagerly ran into the party fun box, just like they eagerly ran into the shipping crate at the end of the last season.
They're
They just
so stupid.
like at some point this has to stop working, right?
No. Kendall says, "Of course you realize this means
This
war."
means war.
That was a really good saying.
We tried really hard.
Yeah.
Yes, there's some... Kendall is in rare form this episode.
It's 5 in the
things he
morning.
says, he's like thriving though. Like
Yeah.
very...
I
Of
think
course you realize.
he also did not get his full 8 hours, and it shows in a very different way than his mother's.
All of them are so on the same page, except for like a couple little moments with James and Logan.
Mm-hmm. Well, and a little.
I mean,
with
Logan also
Logan and
has
Kendall.
problems with, like Kendall's bad operation names.
Oh yeah, that's true. Logan's the one who truly didn't get
He's
enough
just
sleep.
being Logan.
Yeah.
That's how he always is.
That's true.
Yeah.
He's just a
Let's
pedant.
be real.
So Kelly gives Griffin a really good haircut, but Gustavo messes up Griffin's assistant's hair so badly that she runs screaming from the premises.
And is never seen again.
Yeah, I don't.
I hope she's okay.
She's probably fine. She probably just went to another hairdresser and, like, quit her job and got a better one.
Good for her.
But Abdul was safe from the haircuts because he's bald.
King.
Yes.
I do like when he's free.
So they get a D in haircuts, which means they now have a B-, and they need an A, or he will have them evicted to make room
Well,
for guys who made castle bashers.
Yes. And he'll send them
Ooh.
to a warehouse, and Abdul pulls up a picture of the warehouse on his iPad, but then they also animated some flies over the picture of the warehouse on the iPad and put in
Yeah.
some buzzing noises. So I like that they
Because
went
it's-
the extra mile.
Because it's in
Yeah,
Rancho
is that out?
Cucamonga. And
I've
they
never
slandered
heard of
it
that
so
place.
hard. It's kind of
Right,
near the
I looked
Worldwide
it up.
Airport.
It looks like a beautiful place. There's some
Well,
really nice mountain views.
But
it's
I've
by
never
an
been there.
airport, right? And
Yeah.
it's a warehouse, and it's in the warehouse district.
Yeah, I mean it's not ideal, but it's only an hour out of LA.
yeah.
Why not?
Anyway, the Castle Bashers guys come in, they're wearing VR headsets, and I thought one of them was Ben Platt, and I was so scared. I was like, no, not a Ben Platt jump scare. But it's not. For any of you who watch and think it's Ben Platt, it's not.
Yeah, those guys that are the gamer actors haven't done anything of note according to IMDb, so I moved on from them. Do we also move on from them in the show and go to the boys?
Yeah, because now they're in stealth mode.
The boys are all wearing bandanas and sunglasses, and it means something.
I couldn't see James's bandana at first because it's behind his bangs, and I was so upset about it.
Yeah. But
Okay,
no,
we need to theorize, though, because James is, like, pretty normal in this episode.
is it
and I thought
because it's being
they're all
split
wearing
among all four
bandanas?
of them?
That was my theory as well.
Like
okay, I'm glad
they're
we're on
all
the same
sharing
page.
the power.
Yeah, and that's what keeps them safe. That's what
That's the
keeps
only
them
way to
stable.
channel them. It's because you have to keep Evil Mirror James separated. Or Bandana Man. You have to keep Bandana Man separated.
Yes. Yeah. Carlos has his helmet.
And
I appreciate.
yeah, the other thing was that they're all wearing sunglasses like the Good Luck Patrol.
Ooh,
So maybe it's like they
miss
had
them
to
so much.
the good luck is also helping to counteract.
yeah,
Bandana
so like
Man.
they knew that they had to unleash Bandana Man, but there have been so many close calls in the past couple of years or couple of seasons. I think it's only been like a year or something. I don't know if that long. But because there have been so many close calls, they have to take as many precautions as possible if they're going to unleash this power. That's my guess.
Yes. So are these like, I'm not going to say the right word, but like artifacts, like they can like channel their power through them?
I think so.
And
Yeah.
that's like Carlos's helmet is one, sunglasses can be them. I don't think the tree hats are anything.
No, tree hats
They're
can't
not
be
powerful.
No. They're...
But bandanas definitely mean something.
Mm-hmm.
James's lucky comb, I think, is probably part of it.
Yeah, it's probably a ward to keep away Bandana Man. So I'm glad that we could talk about the bandanas and the sunglasses because those were very important to me.
Anytime.
Yes.
So they use this power to hack into the teleprompter, and by hack in, I mean they plug an Ethernet cable in. It's not high tech by any stretch of the imagination.
But they act like it is.
Yeah, because they're 16 and they learned how to use an Ethernet cable. I mean, I get that. And it's 2010, 2011? Yeah.
Yeah,
It's pretty
Kendall
high-tech
names
for
this Operation Cutout Time from AMLA so Big Time Rush can perform on live TV. And Logan criticizes it because it's a really long operation name. Carlos suggests Operation Winter Blitz.
Which is a
and
good
then-
name. But
I think it's fun.
But it is
James
not
points
winter.
out- right. I was very surprised it was James who pointed it out and not Logan because I feel like James, I don't think he usually doesn't care about the details. But I
fashion
think
is...
they couldn't,
I think
What?
he needs to know about the seasons for fashion.
yeah, like humidity for his hair.
Yeah.
I think they just didn't want to make Logan too annoying because he just, like, criticized Kendall and then they don't want him to also be criticizing Carlos.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
think
fair.
Logan and Carlos have any, like, beef in this one,
No, maybe
which is nice.
They're trying to mend fun. They got the Good Luck Control bandana, or sunglasses.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they did it.
Oh, love that for them. Does not happen enough.
No. So...
And they do get the knockoff Mission Impossible music in this scene, which is always great.
And they also do manage to cut off some time.
Yes, because they do, they speed up the teleprompter. So we get Night Court Miles Bainbridge.
Yes.
I did like a
they first-
cursory rewatch just now because I took notes a while ago, and so I was watching it at 1.5 speed. So when they sped up this guy, it was nuts.
Yeah.
So they get him to say that Big Time Rush is the greatest band in the history of the world, which is not what I would say about my band.
But it is something that's on James's list. So this is a loose list where he can just make things up, and they're allowed to count for the list.
Oh, see, I assumed that had been on his list for a long time, and then maybe they saw the list and were like, okay, well, we need to help James out, so that's why they put that on the teleprompter.
Right, but like, writing down words and making a guy say them doesn't make it true. You know, like, they did write down the words, Big Time Rush is the greatest band in the world, and then make the guy say it.
I mean, maybe Miles Bainbridge is just so, like, legendary in LA culture that it's like, well, whatever he says is true.
Oh, I think just James doesn't care.
Yeah, I love the loose interpretations he takes with this list. It's like genie rules.
So there are some fun things that are said in this very sped up news.
Yeah, he's like, the governor was, forgot what the governor did.
He issued an apology to voters yesterday
Yes.
following the recent discovery that he is, in fact, a terrible governor.
And I was like, who was, oh, it was Schwarzenegger.
Oh
There's a story about a kitty who got stuck on the Hollywood sign, which was very sad, but I'm assuming the cat's fine.
no. Yeah.
There is also a lumberjack union that has come out against, and then I missed part of it, but I think that sentence ends with, "It needs to keep its mitts off my tree cutting money."
Okay.
And then a new study has come out from the Institute of Science that's awesome, finding that video games are, in fact, totally awesome.
They're really pushing video. Is this? I forgot to look up when the Big Time Rush Nintendo DS commercial happened.
Oh no.
Because it feels like I'm gonna look this up while you keep reading.
Cool. All eyes are on the City of Angels this week, as it's been selected as the final stop in the Queen of England's Rock the USA Mega Tour. And then I missed a few words, but the sentence ends with electric jazz bass. So I don't know if the Queen of England's...
There is no Queen of England.
Well, this was 10 years ago.
Did you just say
There's
20
also-
years ago?
What? No, this was
thought-
10 years ago.
Okay, I heard 20 for some reason.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. I thought you were correcting me that it was 20 years ago, and I got really scared.
The last piece of news is that someone was finally caught this morning in Las Feliz by an undercover cop with a lolly and an oversized diaper. That's all I have to say.
Molly?
Oh shit, I hope it was her.
Also newsworthy, Big Time Rush Backstage Pass didn't come out until 2012.
Yeah, that tracks.
So this had nothing to do with the DS collab. They just really like video games.
So they get caught by the producer, and Kendall's like, "Hey there, you," because he forgot her name too. And she unplugs their laptop, and it just makes the teleprompter go back to normal speed. Don't think
Yeah,
that's
it's not
how that would work.
It's fine.
Meanwhile, Mrs. Knight is asleep on top of Ed Begley Jr., and he's really uncomfortable, but Katie's like, just don't move her.
Because he'll be in danger.
After they tell the producer that they shaved a whole minute off the show, Carlos says de nada, which I think is cute because we don't get to hear him speak Spanish very much, but we got de nada, and he calls himself Chef Carlitos later, which is cute also.
Yes, that is
So I
his
love that for
nickname.
him.
They call
Chef
all the
Carlos.
guys call him Carlitos.
So Rock Records gets a D for being too clean because rock and roll is supposed to be gritty and dirty. They should be so busy making Griffin money that they don't have time to shower.
And then Griffin
It's so gross.
takes his white glove and rubs it against the gamer's face and says, "Look at these gamers. They're filthy."
Yeah, it's the one that looks
another
like
wonderful line.
it's the one that looks like Ben Platt, by the way. So Gustav was like, "Yeah, well, the Big Time Rush is gonna be on the show, and they're gonna make you even more money." And then he turns on the show right in time to see security chase them across the traffic map green screen.
The guy keeps trying to go on with the traffic report, and he says, on the 105, there are reports of a crash, and then the boys crash into
Yes.
There's a lot of jokes in this episode that I never really appreciated before, because I think a lot of it really gets overshadowed by, the sound effects. So I really have to concentrate to, take a step back and enjoy, some of the stuff they're doing here, because it's genuinely very funny.
Yeah, there's a lot of nice attention to detail.
But it's just, there's so many sound effects happening at all times, it just, takes up half of my brain space.
Mm-hmm. Gustavo and Kelly are very distraught by that. They hate to see it. The boys get cornered in that same alley out the special waiting room, and the producer authorizes the security guys to use force.
When they realize that the door behind them is locked, Logan kind of puts his hands out like it's a presentation and says, "It's locked!" And I do like that.
Logan is so funny.
It was a really good choice.
Like, in-universe, Logan is so funny.
Out-of-universe Logan is pretty funny, too. I mean, out-of-universe Logan made that choice.
That's true. So these
being
guys
beat
are...
up by security guards was not on James's list of
They
things
have-
to do before he's 20.
He looked, though. He did look. To make sure.
They have batons.
Yeah, that's really scary. I didn't like that.
Yeah.
They're underage.
I
children.
know.
Yeah.
I know. Peter's like, so what is their plan? Are they just gonna beat them up? Like, yeah. They're gonna beat up the 16-year-old boys.
Well, Kendall says, "Logan, options now." And Logan's like, "I don't know, scream." So they scream.
But they do have an option. It's Katie coming in clutch with a taser.
But they don't see Katie at first. They're just screaming, and then they see these guys, like, freeze and, like, collapse, and they're like, it worked? Which really killed me.
I was totally
no,
ready
it's
to buy it, too. I was like, oh, they can do
They
that.
scream so loud that they short-circuited.
And Katie's like, "I hate you guys. I was so close to being done with this asshole bashers level. But alas."
She is the only reason they're alive ever.
Yeah.
Logan's like, but seriously, where did she get that taser, man? And they're like, I don't know.
They do all, because they have to run by her to get through the door, they all, like pat her on the head or give her a little hug or whatever. Like, they all show their appreciation, which I think is fun.
But I think Kendall also calls her baby sister in that scene, which
He calls her that
I famously
a few
hate.
times.
Yeah.
I just block it out. It's bad.
It's too early for him to remember what her name is. So, real quick, Rock Records interlude. They fail Griffin's secret test.
I do love the secret test.
They're like, what's the secret test? And he's like, if I told you, it wouldn't be a secret. And then
Gustavo's also he's pretty nonchalantly like, well, the dogs are clearly going to get arrested and not perform, so I don't think he's nonchalant when he yells, what do we do? But they're just very accepting of the fact that these boys are going to jail.
I mean, they've committed so many crimes at this point.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, it's just a matter of time before they're imprisoned.
Yeah.
So the gamers are like, ha ha ha, we're gonna take your office, and Gustavo and Kelly are like, nuh-uh, in unison, which gets them an A for snappy comeback teamwork. And then they gotta do the breakfast test, and they have aprons that say, let's do this. This episode made me want breakfast food, like, a lot.
There's a lot of breakfast food, yeah. I guess
Yeah.
it is an early morning show, so I guess that tracks, but still. So
back at the news studio, Ed Begley Jr. is a little concerned because he says that he could have sworn he brought his solar-powered tasers.
do you love that they actually explain that instead of just leaving it?
It's so funny. I swear they're solar-powered.
Disguises.
But now it's time for Operation We Love Ed Begley Jr., but we have to cut his segment short.
Logan is dressed as a pharaoh. They're all in silly disguises.
Yes.
And James slaps him because slapping a pharaoh is on his list.
That's one of those really iconic lines that really persists through the years. That's so funny. It's nothing.
It's his delivery. He
Number
delivered
11,
it well.
Slap a pharaoh.
Kendall is dressed as Abraham Lincoln, and I believe he fought for this costume. He's like,
Yeah.
that's me. I get to be Abraham
Because
Lincoln.
we don't go back on our promises.
It's so annoying.
He's really trying not to be a liar, but he is.
He didn't even do anything. We're just like assuming this is what happened.
I know James was a fisherman. I can't
Yes.
remember Carlos's outfit.
He's
Carlos
just
had
like
a
a
few
cop.
things going on.
He has like a handlebar mustache.
They prepare for shenanigans.
EBJ.
Bigley Jr. has EDJ. That's okay.
EBJ
That's-
is sorry. He's presenting his wind-powered spinning tie rack.
which James then fishes out of the studio. He just, I don't know, he gets it with the fishing pole. It's very impressive.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's
One
like
shot.
a Minnesota trick.
Oh, true. Yeah, they're outdoorsy, aren't they?
I have to assume.
I feel like it would elongate the segment, is the thing.
Miles Bainbridge is really good at moving on.
Yeah.
So they trusted him. They knew he could do it.
So
Yeah, Logan drank the soy mulch energy drink they were supposed to talk about.
Which sounds terrible. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't want to drink
But
mulch.
the last one is my favorite one.
Which Logan should have been the one to mess with, but it's fine.
I
Like, they
know.
really should have swapped Logan and Carlos,
Yeah.
in my
So
opinion.
they're continuing the toast motif. Thank you, Nickelodeon. The pedal-powered toaster. The faster you pedal, the faster you toast.
It's
Is
such
there
a-
an
Carlos
episode this season
is
without
making
toast?
the underlying theme of this episode is like what's the best way to make toast?
Yeah.
It's like
Because
with
we found out that watermelon is not a good way.
yeah.
Toast on a rope probably isn't a good way. We don't really get follow-up on that one.
No.
So
There's so many more toasts.
he pedals the pedal powered toaster too fast, and then the bike component breaks free, and he crashes into the Hollywood Minute set, which is another segment, but it's also the name of the sketch where from 90s SNL where David Spade would just like get up and dunk on people.
Nice.
Miles Bainbridge is like, well, the Hollywood section is gone.
No, Kendall said that, actually.
Yeah. I wish
shit.
Miles said it, but unfortunately
Yeah.
Kendall is funny sometimes.
Miles can't
Yeah.
say anything if there's not words in front of him.
Yeah.
True.
So Kendall is really annoying, and he goes up to the producer in his like stupid Abraham Lincoln costume, and he's like, we shortened all the things, and she gets very upset.
She vows to destroy Big Time Rush.
She gets cartoon supervillains so fast.
Yeah.
And like, it's Nickelodeon. It's gonna happen, but she's definitely up there.
Kind of giving Faye Dunaway as Joan Crawford, like that level.
It's also, like, she could have just taken their suggestions, or even pretended to take their suggestions, and then said, oh, sorry, not enough time, and then moved on. Like, she really could have avoided them.
No, she really hates their vibes
Yeah.
so much. I feel like this happens to them a lot.
Yeah.
Their vibes are just so bad that people try to like destroy them
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
forever.
I feel like on some level we have also taken the vow to destroy Big Time Rush.
Yeah.
So Gustavo and Kelly make this very awesome breakfast spread for Griffin. It's better than the one in the green room at the actual professional morning show. But Griffin's like, no, it's too expensive. You spent too much money. I wanted pedal-powered toast.
Which is it's so funny. It's so good.
And then he does a spontaneous trust fall, and obviously no one catches him. So they get another D. I don't know why he's not giving them Fs.
well, I mean, I think, like, there has to be a way for them to come back from it. If there's an F, they have no hope.
And they did make a lot of breakfast.
Yeah.
So there probably was toast in there somewhere. Just not like the right toast.
I wonder if there was a point where he tried to give them an F, and Abdul was like, I actually don't have a picture for that on my iPad, and he had to just go with it.
I think we forgot to mention it, but back at the news studio, Katie has diverted all of the security on the news lot.
That's actually just about to happen, so we're perfectly on time.
I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. You're transitioning.
She's described as a tiny suspect in a vaguely nitrogen-powered scooter.
It's
very much a golf cart.
I thought he said scoot around.
Powered.
Scoot around? Is that a word?
It's what EBJ wanted to call it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, 417. It's a 417 in progress. They have a code for this. And 417 means tiny suspect in a Begley Jr. nitrogen-powered scoot around.
And she is still playing her DS while she drives.
Which is horrifying.
Well, first we have to do the Chef Hollandaise segment.
Yes.
Kendall saws a hole in the floor underneath a guy. Like Looney Tunes.
Yeah. Using an Ed Begley Jr. saw.
Yeah, 'cause regular hand saws are so bad for the environment, but these are
as
okay.
He's doing it, Kendall says out loud, "Sorry, chef, but we have to cut this segment short." I'm like, he's on another level this morning.
So the big time rush murder count ticks up.
No, because after he falls to the floor, they all say he'll be fine.
He'll be fine.
Yes, let's believe the boys when they say anything.
Well, he must be a doctor, so...
Yeah.
They killed that guy.
So Carlos climbs up there.
We've never seen him again, do we?
No, I don't think so. But so before they killed him, he was showing the good people of Los Angeles, California, how to make a really complicated beef dish. And it's gonna take a long time to cook. And then Carlos pops up through the hole that they just sawed, and he's like, "That takes forever. We're gonna make fish sticks." Because remember who has a line of fish sticks?
Yeah, this entire segment actually, this montage or whatever you're gonna call it, actually stressed me out because they just kind of participate in insider trading.
I don't think they knew they did for some of it.
But
I
they
think
still
Carlos
did.
Just likes fish sticks. No,
I know.
Did.
They have no defense and they're going away for a long time is what it comes down to.
So Logan does a financial report. Kendall
he
has
saws his way back up through the floor with the saw to get to the financial report.
But his financial advice is to buy Ed Begley Jr. stock.
Okay, yeah. I mean, that was nice of them.
It was. But also, he's gonna get arrested for that, or something, or investigated at least.
I don't even think they thought through it that much. I think they're like, "Oh, Ed's a nice guy. I feel bad for ruining his segment."
No, exactly.
They don't know what insider
They're just
trading
stupid.
is. They can plead
don't.
stupidity.
Don't go to jail ever. They just plead stupidity.
They're just the dumbest people alive. It's fine.
Nice.
Kendall has cue cards for Logan's report, which I thought was cute, and James is tossing props to him through the hole in the floor.
And then James very quickly gets over to the weather station to say, "It's LA, it's sunny. You don't need weather."
He does get to check off being a weatherman on his list.
And he does the little finger thing.
With the guitar riff?
Yep.
On TV. Love that for him.
Producer's cut back to Miles, but Miles is eating fish sticks with Carlos. And they do a little fish stick toast.
It also looks like... It looked like they were dipping them in... I don't remember what the product was. It was an Ed Begley Jr. product, maybe organic jam. Because that jar was open between them, so I think they were dipping the fish sticks in, which
that's funky.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Would that taste good? I don't eat seafood.
No.
So she's freaking out, and then she calls for security. Kennedy calls for security, and then we get a special report that every security guard on the lot is currently involved in a low-speed chase.
Oops.
And we go to live footage, and it's Katie leading all the security guards in a low-speed chase that reminds me of watching my dad watch old detective shows.
And then the producer straight up punches a guy with her walkie or her phone. I don't remember what it was, but she definitely hits a guy with it.
Yes, and Katie is playing her DS while driving.
Manslaughter.
So the kill count keeps going up.
But the boys' antics earned RCM CBT Global Net Sanoid $3.9 million in 1.9 minutes.
See, that's gonna be investigated, right? That's a lot of money.
I mean, the company's worth $90 billion, apparently. I also enjoy it when all that chaos was happening. Carlos starts getting chased by security again, and Miles Bainbridge is just like spinning around on his spinning chair, like Chef Carlos and 3 guys in yellow jackets, because he doesn't have his cue card, so he's just like going for it. He's having a really good time,
as he should.
How do we feel about Griffin's pun?
The floundering fish stick division?
Yeah.
It's nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, he said a lot of good things this episode. That wasn't one of them.
Yeah. It's very okay.
Also, the video gamers are very excited because they just hacked Valerie Bertinelli's email.
It's fucked up.
Yeah.
Can't believe Ben Platt did this.
If you don't know who she is...
yeah, I never heard of her, but she seems to be extremely famous, so I was like, oh, okay.
Touched by an Angel. She was married to Eddie Van Halen.
Wild.
Yeah. Her son's name is Wolfgang.
Ooh.
These are all things that they could have learned from her hacked email. I don't know. It was weird.
It was weird.
So, Gustavo and Kali are like, can we keep this office? And Griffin's like, let's see how many people download the song after the performance.
So it was definitely downloads and not CD sales?
I guess.
Yeah. Well, did their CD come out yet in the show universe?
The first, yes, it did. Because in the beginning, Kelly said they're going to sell a bunch of CDs.
Right. Because I remember Big Time Demo. It's fine. I'll figure it out.
We'll get there.
But I mean, I'm assuming iTunes sales were a really big thing.
Okay, so it was downloads.
In 2011. I think so, because I have to assume in their universe as well. It's probably similar.
Okay, because I was obsessed with the idea of people watching Good Morning America, seeing a band sing a song, and saying, I gotta get out to the store now.
At 5 a.m.
Before the song's even done.
In their defense, I think at that point it was past 6 a.m.
6:30 at the very earliest, because that's what time it was when Carlos was running away.
Ah, yes. But the scary lady is gonna tase some children now.
Goes insane.
Yeah. And the tasers have, laser focus on them. Ed, my man, what are you doing?
But Katie runs her over with the scoot around. I still have never, I googled it and it's a word, but man, I've never heard that word before in my life.
No, I think that's just his fun little name for it.
No, I mean it's a thing, but it's they don't look like golf carts. They look like mobility devices, or normally going around.
Well, that makes sense as to why Ed Begley Jr. would want to make it to better society, as opposed to the tasers.
Yeah.
It just really doesn't track, man. Anywho, we don't have to worry about this insane woman using the taser on the children because Katie comes in and hits her with the scoot around.
And therefore defeats the evil she-beast.
And also says, oh no, was I gaming and driving again?
Yeah.
Again? Katie?
Well, she was doing it before, and then she ran over someone, and then said, oh, I should stop, and then...
Oh, I was worried that it was, a previous day, like another occurrence in a different vehicle, in a different
I hope
game.
not.
She's canonically like 11
Yeah.
at this point, I think.
And then they perform Till I Forget About You, and it's intercut with clips of them on TV, but like good clips that didn't actually happen.
Yeah, it was really cute, actually.
Yeah, they have all their little segments like Logan's financial report and James's weather and Chef Carlitos. But they like all the lyrics to the song are like integrated in there. So instead of like the different stocks, it just has lyrics to the Till I Forget About You.
Yeah, like for during when you were breaking the news, it says breaking news, which was a really cute idea.
And when he says it's over, the weather is overcast.
There's also a part where it says today's forecast loneliness, and that
I also like when Carlos makes a cake that says Till I Forget About You on it.
Yeah.
And then Kendall has the cue cards with the lyrics on them.
I like that he doesn't have to be on TV. He's just like, I just want to hang out and tell you guys what to say that's funny.
Also, when they say jump up, fall down, it's Logan with the stocks going up and down. So good.
Also, Griffin has like a live map of the downloads, and they spike during the bridge.
Yeah. Spending money like it don't mean a thing at the financial desk.
Ooh. Yeah, does he like throw money in the air at that point? Where'd
Yeah.
they get that?
That was...
I don't think they
Don't
just
worry
have
about it.
money.
No, that was from the downloads.
Yeah, that's how, yeah. It, yeah.
Maybe he borrowed
Thanks.
it from Ed Begley Jr. for the bit, because he seems to be on board with whatever they're doing. I assume that guy's rolling.
A bunch of people download it, so Griffin's happy, and Gustavo and Kelly get to stay in their building, and the gamers get virtual offices.
Zoom!
Another thing I thought was cute. I've been saying cute a lot this episode, but I stand by it. When the credits start rolling on the news, you can see like a few of the first names. So it says on AMLA, it was produced by Aaron Staudinger, who is also a producer on Big Time Rush. Co-producer Sean Costanian, he seems to have done like other Nickelodeon stuff, so he was probably a co-producer on Big Time Rush. The director is Brandon Crawford, which I wasn't able to find a ton of info, but according to LinkedIn, he coordinated post-production for several Nickelodeon shows. He was probably not the famous baseball player that mostly came up with my search. And it said assistant director Don Kelly, which is apparently it's the name of another famous baseball player. I'm assuming it's not that guy, but that would be like a really wild like meta joke if they're like, let's just put baseball names now, we run out of guys. But yeah, I like when they do that stuff. It's fun. And James gets to check off performing on live TV.
And
on his list.
everyone is really
Yay.
excited for him, and by everyone, I mean the entire cast and crew of the Good Morning Show, and Ed Begley Jr., and all the security.
Why are the security on board now? Is the song just that good?
Yeah. No, yeah.
The woman that was telling them what to do is gone, so, you know.
Yeah, it's just like when the Death Smash singer died in those vents, and
Yeah.
his bandmates were like, he was mean, it's fine.
Like, I think maybe when the guy asked, like, permission to use force, he was hoping she would say no, because they didn't want to beat up children.
Yeah, unclear.
I'd like to believe that. I think that would make them more fun characters, but it's fine. They finally let Mama Knight wake up, and she asks how things went, and everyone in the room lies.
Yay.
Did we learn any lessons this episode? I think that's a good question we should start asking as a reflection.
Well, I think that will just make the show problematic, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I guess you could say, like, perseverance in, like, a roundabout way. Like, they did not give up on their dreams.
Yeah.
But I don't know if this is a good example of that.
Insider trading, good?
It's just supporting your friends.
Bullying people you have power over works because you get what you want?
Yep.
Don't play your DS and drive. At the
That was a
same
good
time.
one, actually. Don't
We did
game and
learn
drive. I'm gonna get
Don't
that on
wake
a
up your-
t-shirt, actually.
Actually, don't wake up your mom before she gets 8 hours of sleep. That's a big one.
That's a very good lesson, actually.
If a
Yeah.
morning show producer takes you to a special waiting... Oh, producers lie.
Yes, that's a good one.
Oh, that's true.
Okay, yeah, we did get a lot of good lessons in this, actually.
Yeah.
Wow. Good job,
Los Angeles is
Marshmallows.
just one word. I forgot that from the beginning.
Yes.
That did kill me. Yeah, good episode. And I
Yeah.
think we're gearing up for Big Time Halloween.
Yes.
Is that what they call it? Like, I guess
Yeah.
that probably is what it's called.
It is Big Time Halloween, and the Paramount Plus really wanted me to watch it, and I had to keep telling it no.
Not yet. It'll be time.
Yes.
I do wish it was the Halloween times, but it might be nice to get a little bit of like Halloween vibes in the summer.
I mean, yeah.
It's fine.
Hasn't felt very summer-like past couple days.
Well, it was
Well,
pretty warm, but it rained a lot today.
Mm-hmm. And if you're interested in any of our stuff in the meantime, you can follow us on social media. Links are in the description. Haley hangs out in the Big Time Rush Discord. Ashton has a Substack where she has some very entertaining writing. I believe it is Trashed and Gay. Is that correct?
Yes. .substack.com.
It is linked on our website.
Perfect. Yeah, keep your eyes out on that because we'll have a special Big Time Rush episode coming out in a few weeks. Or
You mean
episode,
she's gonna
Jesus Christ.
post? She's gonna post about Big Time Rush. Very
Yeah.
special.
But we'll also
If
talk
they're-
about it on the podcast.
We will never
Um,
stop talking about Big Time Rush on the podcast. They're gonna
It'll
just
be a
keep giving us
special
stuff
Big
to talk
Time
about.
Rush episode of the podcast where we talk about Big Time Rush.
Yes. I was thinking it would be. I mean, this is insane, but it would be fun to, after we've gotten through all Big Time Rush content, go back and count our podcast as Big Time Rush content, and then do episodes about our podcast.
Oh my god.
episodes.
So watch out for that.
Yeah.
No, I think that would be
2047.
absolute stupidity. It would be a bad idea. Nobody would want that.
We could do a special bonus episode.
Oh, okay. My pants
I
are
have to
getting...
go.
Cold pants.
Girl, my